for Obama to put a spin on this, I'm glad I'm not working for him, because I'm looking at these numbers, Buck, and when you talk about before, you talked about that 15% number. That is extremely important. That's called the U6 number. That's the amount of people out there that have said, I'm done looking for a job. Things are so bad, I've given up.
That's the giving up number.
Giving up. And also involved in there is, I don't have enough work. I'm only working 20 hours a week. I'm barely scraping by right now. 15% of the Americans out there are in this category. How do you win an election when 15% of people out there are stuck in it? Because there's no way that person, anybody in that 15%, should be voting for Obama.
And, you know, and if this had been under the Bush administration, the networks would be leading with the U6 numbers. You know, they would highlight how awful this really is, and they have not done that. I mean, it is really amazing. There was a headline on AP that had the true story about it versus the headline on Reuters, which tried to put a positive spin on this. I mean, the mainstream media is so in cahoots with this administration that it's sickening. So it's hard for the average American person who's watching what's going on, who watches the news or grabs the newspaper, to really get a clear sense, because Romney is not doing a very good job of capitalizing on these things. He has got to come through with a very simple messaging plan. Keep it simple so that people can understand it and repeat it ad nauseum. You know, Herman Cain drove us crazy with the 999 plan. Well, Romney needs to come up with something that highlights how dreadful this is and what he's going to do about it in, like, you know, 2 sentences or less. No 59-point plans like he had before. You know, I have a 59-point plan to get the, you know, economy back on it. No, nobody's going to pay attention to that. So they really need to take this. The job participation rate is only 63.7%. That means 36% of the American people are not participating in the labor force. That is the lowest in 30 years.
Andrew,
I'll do it in one sentence.
You're a precise guy. I was going to say, you can do this for us. What's the Romney case here?
All right, 8% before stimulus, 8% after.
And $800 billion added on to the tab that we can't pay off.
You had 8%. You promised us if we spent $862 billion, it wouldn't go above 8%. You did. We're over 8%. You're done. That's it. That's the line.
I don't think that works. I really don't think that works, because
how much easier can I make it?
I know, but Americans out there are going to say it could have been much worse, and that's exactly what I was going to say. But it's going to be a very tough sell. I think you actually have to connect with the middle class.
Yes.
Go to the middle class and tell them to ask themselves. Asian numbers don't work. Numbers are not going to work, because if they did work, we would see Romney with a huge lead right now.
I think that's the first of two steps. Amy, the second step would have to be Romney saying what he would do, and what do you think that would be?
It could have been worse. It could have been a whole lot better. And American people, we know we are up to this.
And how? In the next 4 years, though, how? What do we think?
Exactly. Well, I think that's what a candidate has to, you know, roll out and unveil to the American people. And I think Tara was right that you have to make it very simple, very digestible about how we're going to make this economy work again and work for the American people.
More adjustable than 8%?
And to be just the mere fact of being focused on that. Let's remember, a lot of Democrats are very upset with Obama that he prioritized Obamacare over jobs. They're like, for 2 years, we were bogged down with Obamacare, which nobody even likes.
They didn't even get the single payer, right?
Looking at the polling on this, and then it goes to the Supreme Court. His entire presidency was wrapped up with a piece of legislation he can't even campaign on right now. So I think for Mitt Romney, simply to be focused on jobs, that puts him ahead of the game right there.
He has to say what, though, right? So what is a focus on jobs? He's got to say, well, we've got to cut regulation. We've got to keep taxes where they are and cut them where we can. We've got to simplify the tax code, unleash the creativity of our entrepreneurs, unleash small businesses.
That's right. You need to create opportunity for success.
Get fired up, Romney. Get fired up, Romney. Where are you?
Listen, what Romney needs to do is paint a picture that shows what it is to be successful in this country and not punish you for success. That it's a reward to be successful and to provide that opportunity.
Well, then you should talk about his life story. Look at Bain Capital.
I agree with you. He shouldn't be backing away from
the fact that Bain Capital. If you want to show success, that is success.
I feel like he's finally gotten into a groove with pointing out that this Obama gaffe, people are calling it, was not a gaffe. It was a window into how he actually sees the role of the state and the role of the state in American society, which is you didn't build that. When you put the stuff before it, by the way, it just makes it look even worse. That's point one. That's the stimulus. That's 8% to 8%. But now we've got to see the other part of this, which is Romney laying out, this is what I will do. As you say, Tara, in a simplistic, straightforward way that people say, yeah, because what Obama did has not worked, this is what we see, and this is what we think could work.
Business Insider has a headline today that says, Obama, you're no Bill Clinton. And the piece had a breakdown of all the things that Bill Clinton did working with Republicans after inheriting a recession. One of them was dropping capital gains tax to spur investment. No way is he going to do that. The other one...
Well, he's discussing raising taxes.
Yeah, he's talking about raising taxes. All of the things that Bill Clinton did, he famously was known for stealing good Republican ideas and making them his own, right? So we say the Clinton-era tax rates, the Clinton welfare fund, these were all Republican ideas.
At the time, it was called triangulation.
Yeah, right. He got his fingers burned in the first couple of years with trying to actually pass through Hillary care, right? And then the Republicans actually forced him to kind of get a little more in the center of things.
Republicans took over.
You had some good policies.
The voters forced him to.
Right, the voters, because they were like, enough of that.
That's
but what you've seen here is, Barack Obama, for at least the first 2 years, it was like a blank check. I mean, literally and figuratively. He could do whatever he wanted. He's gotten so much of what he's pushed for. He got the stimulus spending. He managed to slam through Obamacare. We are where we are, and unless they're going to engage in a war on math and decide that the numbers don't matter, which I think they're doing to some extent, you can make a case for re-election here.
Well, that's what happened.